Good morning, scapegoats, chosen ones. Sorry for my appearance. I didn't get much sleep last night. My dog wanted me to get him up at 2:30 in the morning because I took a motorcycle ride yesterday and I left him alone too long. So he had extra energy. That's pretty good for his old age. So he wanted me to get up at 2:30 in the morning and take him for a walk. So I did. And then I took him melatonin at like 3 in the morning. And then he woke me up again at 7 something, wanting another walk. And I ended up locking myself out of my bedroom. So I had to try to sleep on the couch instead of my nice, comfortable bed. But I made stages of a scapegoat, little list. You probably can't see it. But, the first thing that happens is you notice you're different from your family members. And I mean, this could be very, very young. And it might not be so much as a thought, it's just kind of a feeling, just kind of like, I'm different. How so? Well, mainly, I can only speak from my own experience. Just, not finding like people falling or people having troubles is funny, and people's downfall, and not really wanting to ridicule people as much. I remember at a big family party on my dad's side of the family, some strangers came over, a family and two little children, and the little girl was like maybe 4, and she just loved food, especially cake. And my brother thought it was the funniest thing in the world, literally like pointing at her. couldn't stop laughing, I wouldn't have even have noticed, most likely. So you notice you're different. And then, this could be at the same time or come a little bit later, you also start to notice that you are treated differently. Like in a video I just shared, I would always get sent up to my room during dinner and have to go to bed with no dinner, and my brother never would. So, you just start to notice different things. You start to notice maybe that your sibling has conversations with the head narcissist, and you don't get to have like pleasant conversations with the head narcissist. Number 3, you just start to tolerate mistreatment. I call it bad acceptance, because what else are you gonna do as a 10-year-old? I ran away from home, but I came back like the same day. I mean, it's pretty hard to make it out there on your own when you're 10, 11, 12 years old. So you just kind of have to accept it. And it's a hard pill to swallow, but you don't have many options. So then, much, much later, at least for me, I was around 50 when I started trying to educate. At least with me, it was only really the head narcissist, because there's no way my older brother was going to hear it. But I tried to educate. And I think that's what you'll do, because you want some hope. You want a rope to grasp onto. Like drowning man will grasp onto anything. So you're not ready to completely give up. So you'll start trying to call your attention to one of your abusers, saying, and I actually would say, what you're doing right now is a word salad. So I was really stupid, what you're doing right now, that's gaslighting. I know my reality. I know what happened. That's stupid, but I wanted to have some glimmer of hope that I could point one or two things out and have them go, yes, you are a mature adult. You're 50 years old. Of course I shouldn't be telling you how to cut your hair, or that, the way you remember it is wrong. Maybe we just have two different perceptions. We were both there. We both saw what happened, but your perception is different than mine. I shouldn't insist that you accept I shouldn't insist on you buying what your next car is going to be. I shouldn't insist on you living where I say you should live. I shouldn't insist on, just every decision you make shouldn't have to be my way. I shouldn't insist that you have to fly to Montana instead of taking a camping trip to Montana with your kids and traveling by road. You're a mature adult, So out of love and wanting some hope for a future with your family, you're going to try to change family members through kind of pointing things out. You might call it trying to educate them, especially if you're watching these videos on TV and you're learning the tactics that are being used. You're thinking, well, maybe they just aren't aware that they're doing it. And if I point it out, things will change. So you start looking for a way out. Like me, several years before I cut ties, I moved farther away because my mother would walk my dog once a week, so she had a key to my place. And she would just come in and do things I wouldn't approve of. She'd come in with literally hundreds of dollars of groceries that I don't eat. And then I'd have to put them up in the cupboards and they'd sit there forever. Or they'd actually take up space in the refrigerator. Or she would just rearrange the furniture. Or I would say, don't give me $100 bills in front of my kids. One time I came home and there was a tree with little, metal tree with little class everywhere. I guess for photos, to be a family tree. But instead she put $100 bills in it. And my kids were really young and impressionable. They were 4 and 5. And they saw this and they never forgot it. Seeing a real money tree, with $100 bills. And that kind of usurps your authority. They think, oh, that's the real people with authority. That's the people with the money and the influence. My dad's just a vagabond. So, after you start looking for a way out, like I said, I moved further away. So instead of just being 13 minutes from their house, I moved a whole 50 minutes from their house. But they would still pass my house twice a week on the way to Mexico. So during Lent, I wouldn't drink alcohol. So what would they do? They'd show up with a case of alcohol, so they could still just stop by unannounced, or they might tell me 5 minutes out, 10 minutes out that they were coming by, and it's kind of rude to say, no, you can't come, when you don't have guests or you don't have any reason why you can. So, it wasn't even far enough, you know what I mean? So then you take the exit, which takes a lot of thinking ahead of time, takes a lot of preparing psychologically, emotionally, and actually physically in real time, planning, okay, where am I going to move? I have this career, I have this job, where am I going to live? What am I going to do for work? So that exit, it's only one word, number 6, exit, but it actually kind of entails more than almost all the others. So that's a big one that might take years of time and preparation. And the last one's healing and recovery, which I'm not really sure if there's anything you can do to speed it along. You can watch these types of videos to educate yourself, but at the same time, you can't really push that too much. And I've been to marriage and family and therapists, MFTs, and out of I think in my whole life I've been to 4, possibly 5, usually for relationship issues, but none of them were worth a sack of beans, They watch the clock, they don't really seem well trained, and they don't really, the main thing is they don't seem to care. So if you were to find a therapist, it would have to be one that's knowledgeable on narcissistic family dynamics, even narcissistic family cults, and that's really hard to find. But some of these channels have people that offer services or referrals to therapists that are knowledgeable, but you'd be hard pressed to find one close by, I think, or one you can meet with in person instead of online. So the healing and the recovery, I think it's mainly just time, education, loving yourself, trying to kind of retrain your brain, which I don't know how to go about that, you know. Yeah, so, but there you have it, 7 stages of scapegoat development, education, knowledge, exiting, healing, recovering. So, good luck. I wish I had known these stages, before I even really started training, trying to educate and change my mother. That would have been nice. Because that stage is really the most useless out of all of them. You're not going to change them. You're not going to gain anything by pointing out their tactics to them. They already know their tactics. They enjoy their tactics. They live by their tactics. So you pointing them out, it's not going to do anything except for get them really mad, infuriate them. So I hope this helps someone that's maybe at the early stages and hasn't got no contact. Leave a comment. I'll talk to you later.